Bro, why is alright, bro? My audio might sound a little messed up today. I don't know why, but my headphones are not working right now. But we're gonna be reacting to a Llama Arts video. Y'all probably seen that Corey done this. He does like SSSQ Sunday. It's just reacting to like some horror, like short animated story. So let's get into it.
Thanks to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. More details at the end. Carrie wanted nothing to do with the daily hustle and bustle of working in the city, having to commute early in the morning for a job that was only a half hour away thanks to the absurd amount of traffic she had to fight through. To make
If I'm her, I'm honking at everybody. Don't even play. I'm out here telling them, yo, move. Yo, get out my way. Like, I promise you, I'm that type of dude where we're all in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Yeah, I'm still honking.
matters worse, she was undeniably beautiful, with her shining blue eyes and vibrant red hair that seemed to ignite whenever it went under direct light. In the city, that made her a high-priority target for catcalling and being followed around by less than well-intentioned fellows. Eventually, she could no longer deal with these issues, and so decided to quit her job and do what she loved to do the most: write. Thankfully, she had a sizable amount of money saved up and a good chunk of savings that allowed her to live comfortably for at least a year. In other words, she had 1 year to make it big as a writer, or she was screwed. Not wanting to live in the city.
You're telling me, if you live in the city, right, you're gonna save enough money to move out the city, live in the middle of nowhere in the woods by yourself? Yeah, you got it. This is
Anymore, she also moved out into the woods, opting to purchase a relatively small yet cozy cabin. Her family was understandably upset by this turn of events, but she did not mind their frustrations. What was done, as she told them. The first few weeks out there was a great success for her, at least in her mind. She wrote thousands of words every day for short stories, and even a big novel she had planned. In between her writing binges, she would take walks around her property, soaking in the sweet and natural scents that the outside world had to offer, taking inspiration from...
Yo, why'd she pull up on that? She said... Oh, my bad. Let's get, yeah.
The earth around her, and the occasional occurrence of a small forest critter that brought her joy. One day, however, when she was on one of her walks and a few miles away from her cabin, she encountered something odd. Beneath one of the pine trails she often frequented was a rather arcane-looking skull that brought...
GG's, I would have left. See, if let's say I'm her, a few miles away from my crib, and I stole into something like a mask like this on the floor, yeah, I'm grabbing my keys.
Brought her a great deal of concern and confusion. She knelt down to inspect it and cocked an eyebrow as she looked it over. By all measurements, it looked like a normal skull of a deer, complete with antlers. There were two odd additions to the skull, however. The first was that there were two small horns that protruded just above where the forehead would be, and the second was that just below where its eye sockets were another set of eyes that were about the size of a human's. Hoping that it was just some cruel trick or some artistic creation and some abomination, she decided to pick it up and find out for herself. Upon touching the skull, she instantly felt a deep sensation of dread surge throughout her body, making her feel sick. Carrie backed away from it in a hurry throughout her body, making her feel sick. Carrie backed away from it in a hurry and eyed it frightfully as she stumbled to her feet and jogged all the way back to her cabin, all the while trying to ignore the feeling of being watched as she did so. As soon as she arrived home, she slammed the door behind her and locked it. She then closed her blinds and peeked outside through them to try and see if there was actually someone there, or if her mind was just playing tricks on her. When nothing happened after a few minutes, she slumped down onto her couch and sighed in relief, chalking the situation up to just being isolated from others for an extended period of time. That night, as she was writing, she was interrupted by the loud grunting of a deer. She chuckled, thinking it was just some...
I guarantee that was not no deer. No deer. It sounds like... That's not a deer. I don't know where deers you got, but for me, nah.
Buck making its way through the area. Her hands froze in fear when a cacophony of grunts piped up one after another. Quickly, she turned off all the lights inside, grabbed a knife from the kitchen, and went to the window praying to God that there was just a herd of deer outside. To her complete and utter dismay, she was wrong. Standing in front of her cabin about 10 yards away stood 3 individuals wearing long black cloaks. Adorning their heads were deer skulls, the same type of deer skull that she had encountered earlier that day. One by one, they made the same grunting sounds from before, only this time they began walking towards the cabin. Understandably freaked out, she grabbed her phone and attempted to call the police.
See, let's just take this in a moment of learning, right? This is exactly why you don't move into the middle of the woods. So stuff like this doesn't happen to you, right? Let's just, hopefully I'll write this down, maybe take a mental photo, picture. Do not move in the middle of the woods with no one and go by yourself. Don't do it, because you're going to end up like her. You're going to end up just like her.
Police. Tears filled her eyes as she saw "no service" written across the top of her phone. In frustration, she threw it on the ground and returned to the window to see that they were nearly at her door now, their grunts louder than ever. She screamed at them to go away, that she was armed, and to just leave her alone. After her panic-filled rant, she backed away from the window, shakily holding the knife in her hands. Seconds later, she turned into a sobbing mess as the individuals antagonizing her began knocking on her door.
Please, just go away!
She screamed. The knocking became louder and more insistent as time went by, until just when she thought she couldn't take it anymore, it stopped.
What?
She asked aloud, surprised that the threat decided to move along. She untensed her body and leaned up against the wall to compose herself. Without warning, a loud metallic clanging sound was heard, and she saw her doorknob stumble out of the door and onto the wooden floor below.
See, at this point in time, this is where I go around back in the kitchen, grab the sawed-off shotgun, and I'm just shooting gauges into that door. I'm talking just blowing holes into it, right? Until I run out of ammo. Because stuff like this, nah, you're never catching me in this situation.
Slowly, her door creaked open, and in stepped the tallest of the 3 masked individuals. Even with his face obscured, she could see how distorted and disfigured his features were beneath the skull.
Stop! Please leave! Don't make me use this!
Carrie shouted as she raised the knife back up and aimed it towards him. He did nothing but stand silently and outstretched his arms as though he were a saint posing for a painting. In defiance, Carrie screamed and charged toward the man, knife poised to pierce his chest. Quicker than the wind, he swatted her hand to the side and followed up with a power punch to her gut, winding her in the process. She collapsed limply into his arms, heaving and gasping for air. Chair. She heard him command the other 2 who rushed into the cabin. Taking a chair from her dining table, they set it in the middle of the room, and Carrie was gingerly seated in it. Defenseless and weak, she whispered for them to take whatever they wanted, but to just leave her alone as they proceeded to strap her down with twine. The goddess despises material goods. Divinity has no such need for such petty items. What she seeks is beauty, and the ability to create beauty. You're a writer, yes. Surely you know what I mean.
This should never ever
How do you know I'm a writer?
Because the goddess led you to us, my dear.
I don't understand.
Carrie muttered as she looked between the 3 men. Sculptures, paintings, pottery, buildings, books, shrines, all created with the arms of talented individuals. You should feel blessed. Carrie.
So, they're out here killing or kidnapping talented individuals because they got nothing going for them? Cool.
He squinted her eyes at him, completely bewildered at the situation.
Why are you here?
Fact.
She says you have lovely arms, Carrie.
What?
Excuse me?
Tears returned to her eyes as her stomach sank.
Sir, I don't
So
know you.
much potential not yet used. This is what she desires, and you have exactly that. He walked behind Carrie and placed his hands on her shoulders, and with bony fingers ran them up and down her arm.
I got some for you. Hold up. Now they got me mad. See, I'm not even in the video. I'm not even her. But let someone touch my shoulder like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Arms.
I'm really unloaded.
Carrie shuddered and swallowed hard.
Potential? No.
You don't have to do this.
Carrie whimpered.
Not
I'm sorry, child.
nothing to be sorry
I weep
about.
for you.
Nothing to be
Truly,
sorry
I
about, 'cause
do.
I'm really blowing a hole.
His grip tightened around her shoulders, his fingernails digging into her skin and drawing blood.
You only blood? Yeah, I'm
Carrie screamed in pain.
gonna
But just think, you're going to be part of something so undeniably beautiful that this pain will become something to rejoice about. Upon realizing what was going to happen to her, Carrie's eyes widened and she thrashed around, begging and pleading to be let go. But all of those pleas fell upon the ears of men deaf to her plight.
She's done for it. She's absolutely done for it. Oh, she's having flashbacks.
Detective Holt walked under the yellow tape
wait,
that
did she
surrounded
survive?
the cabin of Carrie Wilkins and went straight inside. In the
Did she
center
survive?
of the room sat the woman in question. He shook his head and did his best not to vomit at what he saw. A ring of leaves surrounded the chair that Carrie sat in, and a crown of twigs and flowers adorned her bloodied head.
I'm out here saying, did she die? Knowing dang well she got her stuff.
Her
cooked,
mouth
like,
was
gone,
agape,
dead.
with a few berries resting. Loosened the tie to his.
Just to let y'all know what happened, because I will be cutting that John out. Basically, her arms were completely severed from her body. She's dead as heck. Rest in peace. And don't move out to the cabin by herself.
Suit in frustration and scratched his rugged graying beard. As he contemplated where to go from that disturbing sight, he was approached by an officer.
Detective Holt, as I'm sure you're aware, the victim was found early this morning due to her parents making a surprise visit and found her in that state.
Do you have any news for me, or are you just repeating to me verbally the messed up shit I just saw? The young woman cleared her throat and
Well, dang, she's
apologized.
trying to do her job.
This was found on the table next to the
See,
victim.
hate detectives like
She
that.
handed Holt
Lives
a
in
folded
the
piece of
report.
paper that had a
Oh, yeah,
crudely
once we
drawn
talk about
skull
something, come
and
back
blood
and
on
get
it.
it over.
It read as follows. The time for the goddess to awaken has come. With her arms she crafts. But what use are arms without eyes, which
All she did
wish
was
to
just try
see
write
her own
and just go
creations?
locking on her writing dreams, and this is what she got. This
Cultists.
is what you got. for
Holt
moving out to the
grunted
woods.
as he
This is
peered
what's-
back inside at the mutilated woman.
What do we do, sir?
Nothing.
Drink. It's gonna be a long day.
Drink. Yeah, they're not solving this case anytime soon. So basically, let me give y'all a quick rundown what happened past that. They went back to the office. They did their drinks, had a little party. and they never solved the case. If y'all like that little video, definitely let me know if y'all want to see more. And catch you on the next one. Peace out.